Show. What's in your cup?
A whole lot of everything, and I mean a whole lot of everything. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody all around the world, thank you for tuning in. This is the Kickback Show, the one and only. I go by the name of Wave Cap Johnny, and she is...
Organic Blackberry. And it tastes like it sounds like it tastes. And he is...
You can't forget that. That's the best part.
I know. I'm like, oh yeah, hold on, wait a minute.
It's your girl Tiana Giovanna in the house, and he is
DJ Swivel. Anything less will be unswivelized.
Yes, really, very excited for today's episode because we have the one and only Miss Gina Jay. The energy that she possesses. First of all, we met you. It's been what, 3 years now? 4 years?
Yeah, about 4 years. I'm gonna say 4 years now. Yeah.
About 4 years when you first came up and everything, and just been following everything that you've been doing, and I think especially during these tumultuous times that we're in, definitely wanted to have a conversation with you. You know what I mean, and really highlight a lot of the unsung heroes that exist within our community, and that's the primary focal point, with wanting to talk to you because you do so much, and what I mean by that is it's not just on a business level, but as far as your interactions and involvement within your local community and as well as a larger community as a whole, and it's always wonderful. Clearly this show, has an even balance of men and women, but clearly it's always great to see women that have ownership and are very, very vocal, and shout out to the women that are on this show that speak up, and so I definitely wanted to have a conversation.
Keep yelling, ladies, keep yelling.
So for the listeners and people that are unaware, give them a breakdown of what it is that you do and how you do contribute to everything that goes on and just how we exist in this world.
So I really just consider myself a connector, a connection to the culture. I'm invested and embedded into all things Black first.
Right.
All Black, but I understand corporal value. I did hold a job for 10 years until I got injured. And then when that happened, I just became an independent thinker, an independent mover. And I realized that the absence in us, in our culture, is connection. Communication. So I fell into where I felt like I would fall into the gap and connect and communicate and have, the sources of communication, clean energy, spiritually, a clean energy, a source too, because energy is everything. And sometimes conflicted energy causes destruction to a lot of movements. So I just wanted to be an open light to a lot of things going on. Of course, I'm involved in everything from music to cannabis. Right now, I really jumped, I ain't gonna lie. I was in music real heavy. Y'all remember I came in there with Stoney the Diller. Diamond Lane was the move when I was in there. God bless all of them, still doing what they do, providing to the culture. But I seen cannabis come up and that green flag was waving. And I've been moving. Cannabis was my love. I came out. This is why I'm Gina Jay. I came in my business cards were J's. I gave out J's as my business cards.
Wow.
Yeah, because I felt like people gonna remember that. Remember that one girl gave us a J? We got hit high. Remember? So other people like, go ask her. I remember too, people be like, hey, go ask her for a business card. Just go ask her, I would hear the whisper and here they come. But I would keep like 50 J's road because that's how like the word was spread off the, I don't know what it is about incentive. Business cards get lost fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there was a connection through that connector. And I use that as my source, as my marketing tool.
That's smart.
That's smart.
That's brilliant.
And
That's
I would say I have a Gina Jay story. So After the Kickback show, this was maybe 2 years ago, I spoke at one of the bosses' brunches, right? And just on vibe alone, like Gina was so warm and so inviting. Like she came up, gave me a hug afterwards, and we like chopped it up and stuff. So like when you talk about vibe, like she's on that frequency, y'all. Like this is the chick. She's on that frequency. She walks the walk. And like I just have to say that, like, you have always been so warm and so like inviting, and I love that, because even before, because I mean, let's not forget, there was a time when we were not on this empower Black women, support Black businesses, love each other, like be out there, like, and I will say, thankfully, the Kickback show and the four of us have always been on that tip.
You have
however, that has not been how it's been with the masses for a long time, and that's just being just frankly
solid. That's keeping it.
You can make an argument that we're still a long way from where we need to be in terms of our support and camaraderie and community, or whatever you want to call it. But
we are absolutely,
especially for the women.
But Gina has been on that wave of, come, here's my energy, give me your energy, let's collaborate, let's do whatever, like, and just vibes in love. And I so appreciate that about you.
Much, sis. I appreciate you, Queen, for that. It's necessary. A lot of people too don't understand why I greet people as king and queen. Mm-hmm. Royalty is key. We are from the ultimate high, and so we forget that we're regal at times, and we're lost in this whole sauce. And so I have to put people back on it. Some people will never be recognized as this name, or they don't even like. You call me some people don't know how to take it. You call me a queen, you call me a king. They've never been called anything royal, but if I can enlighten them for 5 seconds, just to tell them that they are still royal, they are still regal. Find yourself in this. You'll be okay. Stay to the light. Follow the light. The light is real.
Yep.
It's okay to think of yourself in a high regard,
without being cocky, without getting ego involved.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I keep all the ego out of it. To me, even in cannabis, coming into cannabis, it was hard. It's not an open community for us, our people.
Ironically,
it's as it should be, though. This is what
right?
This is what they told us it would be for. Again, they finessed the play. They got us, but in it, I did step in just to be a voice for us women, us Black women, because there wasn't enough microphones being handed to us. There wasn't enough platforms. We weren't welcome to a lot of things in cannabis. I felt no different in music, because as a woman, we still were slightly not welcome to the table on a lot of value. So even if we had great, brilliant ideas, it was like, that's great, back there, okay, all right, back to the table. And so I was okay with that, because I think I learned that from a stern factor in music, that I could come into cannabis and go, I've already sat at these tables before, but this table I demand different. Why? Because I've made it different. Because I've taken a different wisdom. Cannabis is a different format. You guys see it all over TV. It's going crazy. It's in the store. CBD. It's now it's time to educate the kids. It's time to let your home know before the streets let your home know. And that's what I really stepped in to teach the family how to educate their family on what for medicinal value and not for recreational purpose.
So how do you operate within the cannabis world? What is your specialty, and how can people link up with you should they decide, even if they want to jump into the business, or just, be a good customer of yours?
So with me, when I came in, I'm a host. I'm an activist in cannabis. So typically I'm on platforms. They're giving me microphones. They sit me down to have conversations about the education I've taken in behind what the growth is. I came in at Black market, and now we're moving into corporate value. So I've learned a big gap of where we're at today. I have a whole lot of the history, you know. So they look at these people that have this information, and I share it with anybody, anywhere I'm going. I don't keep it a secret because this is what's transitioning. This is what's going to change a lot of our financial issues here. A lot of people don't understand it's going to change a lot of financial issues in the United States of America. So I just want to be an educator to all of this. But for me, I'm invested in brands. I'm first lady of the Million Bananas. I don't know if you guys can see them back here, but Million Bananas.
Oh, yep.
The majority of these stickers are people I've come in contact with in cannabis. Like,
Nice.
I've either had their product, interviewed them, because I was on a show. I did my own show for a year called the Pull-Up Show. So I interviewed whoever you could think of. You know, those big festivals from Kush Stocks to High Times. I've been blessed to be on those stages and share education. But that's the biggest thing. I'm an activist for this all. So if I can activate and inform my people first about where it is we need to be in this. Never have my people sell out to nothing. They've introduced a social equity program that I'm truly against, to be honest. Anything equity, the social equity, they make bring something invested, meaning like your family home, something heritable, you know what I'm saying? Something that you could put up for this business. And in the end, they make all these promises and the promises fall through. And so you lose what you had in your family, you know? Yeah, so I try to educate. It's just education. It's about letting my people know. If I can't let my people know, then I'm failing my people.
So what are we doing wrong when it comes to breaking into the cannabis business, and what are we doing right?
I think everyone is seeking the dollar. It's just it's the greed. It's the greed. Yeah. And that's any business. It becomes greed first. And we forget that this is medicinal. It's a fact. It's a healer. So even with things that Dr. Sadie would tell us, with things that are so cheap that would heal you, now making it so expensive, you know, like wrong to right. Right is grow your own, everything. Not just cannabis.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. Food, herbs, everything. All of that.
Everything. Yeah. This is the time we need. This is the truth that we need to share. This is the real kickback. You know, I think we're having type of conversations in our houses now with our valued friends and family. These are the conversations that we're having. We're becoming more responsible for what we're approaching. You know, whether we're ready for it or not.
Over the years, and I've been guilty of this because of my upbringing, being in a Christian home. What would you say are still some misconceptions or things that can be misunderstood about cannabis itself, let alone the cannabis industry and the cannabis world?
The war on drugs. That's where it really beat the system. It beat the minds. It put a lot of us in prison. So we are convinced that it was nothing good. You know. For our family, for the generations before us, because the generations now they ready to go. They trying to get their family to invest. You don't understand. There's money happening here, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But for our families that are still stuck, Christian moral values, all of that, this was beat on us in a different format. Like we always, as our people, you know, we take the fall for it all. Whether it was introduced or not, we take the fall for it all. So I think that if they understand, people like me, it's my job and other people's jobs that are in this culture to educate. It's important that we go to senior homes because why they need it before the youth need it.
Yeah,
there's more medicinal factors they need this for. You know, they're in pain. Their pains are beyond our pains. It's still kind of recreational for the youth. You know, so if we can educate them. Even with the start of a CBD, and let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I stepped away from religion, but my mom's still very much Christian and follows. I'm spiritual. I feel like things in religion brings division. I don't do division. I like everything to be united. God is one. But my mom introduces people. I took my mom on my journey. Because I had to tell her I was stepping away from religion, which was for her. Then I had to tell her what I was doing, and I had to show her and introduce her to what I was doing, so she did not think that I was being a drug dealer, a trapper, or all this new common whatever verbiage that's coming out. I had to let her know, no, don't confuse me. The queen of the South, the queen of the West, the queen of the East. I ain't none of that. I want you to understand. So the only way that I can get you to understand is to bring you to understand. I need you to see the sick people. I need you to see the different generations of people. I need you to see the races of people, the love of people under this medicinal value. So when I brought her to it and she started seeing all of this, she felt more welcome there than she did in her own church home.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
Yeah.
In all
but
honesty,
why? For being themselves. People are wholeheartedly, truthfully being just themselves.
Mm-hmm.
There's just truth. You can't live past nothing but the truth, And so everybody's vibing off that truth factor. And that's what we have. And there's a lot of, we got to pull the wool behind closed door. We all know that what happens in our home, stay in our home.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a preference in terms of dealing more with just cannabis per se versus like the oils and stuff like that? Because like I was talking to a good friend and he was just saying like, kind of breaking down like the difficulties of getting into like opening up a dispensary, for example, versus getting a CBD oil line because of the legalities of everything and the licensing that you gotta get and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you have a preference which way
to go?
Yeah.
I tell my people, it's almost like setting yourself up, because even the people that are invested right now, it's not federally approved.
Yeah.
It's just not federally approved. So anybody invested is running that federal risk. Mm-hmm. So if you watch the news right now, they talking about BC is there's a lawsuit right now under the Bureau of Cannabis. So Bureau of Cannabis Control, there's a lawsuit happening on the state of California. We're the Mecca. We are the Mecca of cannabis. So they're going to start with us and close with us, and everything behind us will follow. If you get in right now, people always ask me, Gina, where should I invest into? It's not the time. I tell them, like, honestly, you could think outside the box, but getting inside of trying to own this dispensary, unless you have somebody that is of a pocket, that got a heck of a pocket, because right now, to be truly invested legitimately, like dispensary and with license and stuff like that, it's about $2.4 million.
Yeah. And I was hearing like it even takes like a few years. Like you got to have your brick and mortar spot set up, and it takes a few years to even get approved for your license.
They go through and check your system. Everything it's like having a new home and making sure that it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Before you go and grow something that's going to truly, eventually going to be some form of FDA or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have to approve all of this. We'll be getting it in our pharmaceutical. They want to drop it so they can bring it to pharmaceutical. Mm-hmm. They got to clear it so it can come to pharmaceutical. Now we're going to doctors to get it.
Do you think it's by design in terms of it being so difficult to get licensing and all that kind of stuff, and
that's it for us,
just so that we can't come up, sort of speak?
Absolutely. But there's supposed to be a rewrite right now, because again, they're under attack. They know that the community, we've been fighting it for a while, and the community knows that we have been robbed. Mm-hmm. We've been, so the community goes in and they're fighting it as often as they can, every other week, every other month, as often as they can bring it to the table. They're arguing because a lot of people lost a lot of money in this, and there was a promise. The promise is gone, and now we see all these corporate buildings going up, Mad Men's, and you guys see the cookie shops and all of these people have, and I'm gonna say separation in those people, us people.
Yeah. Well,
it's very rare that we own anything. It's like maybe a handful of us that own anything in this cannabis market right now.
Right.
Which is sad. And this enraged me. So, the former Speaker of the House, John Boehner, was one of those who was adamantly against legalizing anything. and during the Obama administration.
Joe Biden.
And he retired, right? And now he's heavily invested in cannabis. And they did an interview with him and said, you know, look, like, you were against legalizing this for so long. And then all he said was, yeah, well, things are different now. And, you know, there's basically, like, things are different now and there's money to be made.
Ching, ching.
Yeah.
Ching, ching.
Exactly. And he's on, like, one of the boards of one of these major corporations, like cannabis corporations, and all of that.
Before I invest my money into this, y'all got to clean it up on the streets. I can't have what I'm going to invest my money into so accessible on the streets.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And it's, you know, there are obvious disparities in licensing and things like that when it comes to Black and brown people in this industry.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, if it didn't matter what, if in America it didn't matter what color you were, there wouldn't have an ethnicity box being checked on any of these licensing.
Period.
Why do you care my ethnicity?
How do we have social equity groups for something that is not federally approved and we cannot bank this dollar?
Yeah.
They should have never given you niggas money.
Do you feel as though that measure that was on the California ballot, what was that? It had to have been about, how long ago did they legalize it in California? It has to have been about, what, 5 years ago?
Not quite that long.
Roughly, it was
3, 4.
Yes.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel as though that measure was beneficial, or did it do more destruction? Because I know that based on the research that I did,
it's damage.
Yeah.
We just knocked ourselves off the fucking platter. Excuse my French, but we knocked ourselves out the game. Excuse my French. We knocked ourselves out.
You can curse. Please curse if you want to.
Okay, y'all, my bad. No, the babies. I respect them. You know, I'm so respectful. Y'all gotta know. I'm sorry. I be wanting to fly, but when I see the babies, I be like, the babies, the youth.
Yeah. But based on my research, I voted no for the measure, and I knew that it was going to end up passing because everyone looked at it as, oh, I can smoke out in public. Let me go get this weed. They're going to be selling it in CVS and blah, blah, blah. But for me, it was like, I'm not interested in going to get no weed from Walgreens. Like, that sounds like a setup.
So
I'd much rather stick with my plugs.
Buy nothing.
You said CVS, nigga.
Yeah.
I like how you said, I'm gonna get my weed from Walgreens.
Walgreens.
I got it. I see what you did there.
You feel me?
No, guys. You know when you go and see this stuff on the shelves now, CBD lotions and CBD roll-on, whatever it is, and shampoos, everything. Let me explain something to you guys. If it is on that shelf right now, there is no value in that shampoo. You have to go into a dispensary to get anything worth of value, a collective. To get something that is really going to work for you medicinally, it is not on the shelves in any corporate store at all. Not on the shelves of a gas station. Don't even think you popping a gummy and you're going to be okay. No, none of that stuff. You're going to have to take about 8,000 of them gummies to feel something.
Real talk.
Like a
the gummy, like the little gummy bear, or like the edibles. Yeah.
You know how in the CBD, anything CBD, if it's CBD water, if it's CBD, they say that whatever they say is going to benefit you from, before it benefits you, you're going to have to use it 8,000 times before it benefits you.
Right.
There's no benefit in it. It is now corporate washed out. It's washed out now. But they're going to put that title on it and they're going to make their money because they got the dollar to.
Part of me thinks like that it might be what's happening with, all these foods that are being sold in the grocery stores labeled organic. Because I'm just like, I never used to think of like Costco, for example, being some place where you can go and find a bunch of organic foods, and there's like in abundance over there now. And I'm just like, is this really?
What is it?
Yeah.
What is?
Or are you just slapping it on the label just because that's what the trend is as far as what people's buying?
I get so funny about everything, I ain't gonna lie. When I get to seeing turkey bacon and all that, I'm like, look, we were raised different. I'm an 80s baby. My granny ain't never bought nothing. We welfare 80s babies too, okay? So that means whatever okay? What is this turkey? What is this? What is this turkey everything? What is this? GMO. Okay? I can't express to my people I know we love. If it's not turkey breast carved, look like it came off the turkey boot block, that's turkey. Okay? Once it started looking pink and turned over into a formation of why is it colored and why is this not turkey anymore? It's not. We have to understand what they're doing to our community. We have to be smarter. Why did they make turkey meat less than ground beef?
Right.
Why? Because we have families that we have to feed in abundance.
That part.
So if it's cheaper, what do? We go cheaper. And so when they invest into that cheaper process and we do that, we buy that and we feeding ourselves nothing but disaster. No different, like you said, than Beyond Meat burgers, you know? They got so much estrogen in them. In them fake burgers. They're turning our men, if a man is trying to go be healthy about himself, now he gonna probably have a boob.
Real talk.
You know?
Real talk. All because of the chemicals that, you know, which that conversation gets real deep.
It's so
and
deep.
Very scientific, you know, when it comes to chemicals and alchemy and just chemistry and all of that, you know, with chemicals and all that shit.
Being awoke, I say tell people, everybody, just, you know, I know that rabbit hole gets deep, but when you got anything else, you got time to get deep.
Right. What would you say is the next step when it comes to the cannabis world and getting to the place to where it is accepted, not only, you know, socially, but to where our people have the liberation that is necessary for us to succeed in the industry? What would be the next step? I know that's deep. It's a loaded question, and intentionally, but you know,
like us asking, what would be the next step for racism? That's how deep it is. Yeah. And no disrespect, you know what I'm saying, but that's how deep it is. It's that deep because corporate has put their teeth into it right now. Coca-Cola has money into it. Once they federally say it is a go, watch the corporate. Once they say federal time, these people are holding their flags just like this. They're already invested though. What people don't understand, I've been telling people, welcome all the people, they're already here. They didn't put their family on the field. Okay, what they did was put one of their family members out to be illegal.
Yeah.
They put the money into their family member to start the gangster shit.
Right.
So when it becomes, we'll all catch up real fast when it turns over. Because we already got invested into it. And if you get any, we're gonna take care of that. Don't worry. You know we got you. We got lawyers, we got it. We got you.
That's where it gets deep, because then it turns into they have that power and already tied in to start shutting down the smaller businesses and the companies clearly that are black and brown that don't have those big, lawyers on retainer and et cetera, you know.
So now, me and my girlfriend, we've been talking a lot. There's unions right now. There's unions happening.
Okay.
And the factor for a change in cannabis is going to have to be us being unionized, you know, us demanding real things from these jobs. Like we want, if we're paying taxes and all of this is happening, you guys are federally taking this damn money, we demand real shit. We want benefits. We want vacations. You know, people are sweatshop working right now. You know what I mean? Sweatshop working. Yeah. There's no real human courtesy to what people are doing inside these fucking sweatshops to get the weed back to y'all. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, the shit coming, it look like this. Yeah, it's so pretty. Oh, look at the jar. Look at my little bag. My little bag so cute. Look it. You don't even know. Everybody back there drenched, hot, trying to trim the pieces to look so pretty for you that you finna just pull apart, put it, you know, like.
Right. Right.
it's so much time invested in all that harvesting. But look, again, that's what I said, it takes unity. So unions are going to have to factor, and we do have unions working right now. And when these unions strike up, and I won't hesitate to play in the union. My girlfriend's already stepping into it, so I'm gonna let her take the lead, and I'm gonna follow. But I'm a union member. I've been a union member for 10 years with UPS. I was a Teamster until I got injured. You know, I recognize what it is to fight for the smaller value of, you know, we're the small people. That's corporal. Yeah. So it's the mom and pop versus the corporal shop, you know. And that's where I stand. I'm a mom and pop all day. Do I have to sit in corporal conversations? Yeah, because how else are they going to hear about a mom and pop?
Right. Which is very important, and we've talked about this in the past couple of weeks, especially since coronavirus has clearly affected our everything that we consider to be normal up until this point. And part of the conversation was how there's this general blanket statement saying that we as Black people don't have X, Y, and Z, right? With you being a connector, how well integrated is the cannabis industry within LA amongst like Black people?
We black market like a month. You know, we stand on feeding our family, period. And so do they. Right. We ain't doing nothing different they ain't doing.
Right.
I love my people, man. I love my people. And I want them to understand, anything you feel you're called to do it. Don't feel like it's something, I don't care if you feel like there's a mountain before you. Trudge it. Keep going. It's a marathon. Ain't nothing gonna come at the bottom at the beginning. Keep going. You know, I'm not promised nothing in this, but I'm going in it. I've had microphones took from me. I've had all type of things happen, you know, but in reality, I've been shut down. I've been doors closed. I've watched people get hired for far less because they got on far less because I refused to show something.
Yeah.
So can I ask, when exactly did you tap into this and choose that this was going to be the route you're going to travel? When do you remember when exactly that was?
I do remember. This crazy right here, y'all. I had my gallbladder removed. I was heavy in church. I was serving. I was 200 pounds, so I remember I was a happy 200-pound Christian.
It's like that too.
God loves me.
Like that too.
Jesus loves me. Okay. I don't know why but it was like that. I was okay. But also I was ugly because I was still judging things, walking through the door. I have my judging face on still. That ain't God. That ain't of God. That ain't who am I? So I had my gallbladder removed. And at that time, I was not smoking cannabis. I had took a break. Complete. I'm 200 pounds, loving myself. No, I'm me and God. No cannabis. I had my surgery and I was in pain. And I felt like I couldn't eat. You know, I knew what I needed. I've had it before. I knew what would bring my appetite. I knew what would settle the pain, you know, but I was rejecting it like, nope. And then I remember I called my cousin. One of the guys, I didn't even know I was 200 pounds. I'll start there. I called my cousin and I said, look, I need to hit something. My stomach is just killing me. She said, okay, come on. It's like pretty much like, come home. So I went, hit it. I went to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom. I synced myself. I had not synced myself till I had this hit.
Oh
I didn't
my
know I was 200 pounds. I did not see myself at all. I did not recognize myself. I had a true revelation of myself. And that's when I realized I was spiritual and I realized what I needed to do. It was a calling on me like, okay, it's bigger than this. He brought me back to I don't know, people know what it is. It brings creativity. It opens the third eye. It clears chakras. It's an energy cleanser. It's so much to it medicinally. It cleanses anxiety. It takes away depression. It helps appetite that's suppressed. It's so much value in it. And I was keeping myself from this herbal mineral. You know, I feel it's a herb. I kept myself from this herb. And when I got back to it, I realized this was my mission. Like, I didn't even feel like I love music. Y'all know I love music. But I felt like there was more purpose. There's a spiritual calling to me behind this. I found myself, I lost my weight, but I went back smoking and I went meditating. And I started yoga and I started doing all different things spiritually, but I still smoked, and I felt like I was the freest I have ever been. My weight cleansed.
All right, so yeah, I got excited because we were like in deep in Gina's story, and one of the things like I want to make sure the people caught was the fact that you said you didn't see yourself, and I don't think like they quite understand. Like, I mean, you may have saw yourself in the mirror, but not until you saw yourself. And then you're talking about how, you know, you started losing your weight, started feeling a lot healthier and better. Like, and I was just so like entrenched, I accidentally hit the stop button. So let's pick it up from there.
Yeah, it was a transition for me. And then I knew I was called to do something. As much as I love music, which is crazy, they went hand in hand. I got to see all my brothers and, you know, sisters out there, because it goes hand in hand. When we're having these festivals, it requires entertainment, you know, and what is required when making music? 9 times out of 10 in them creativity rooms, cannabis is a factor, you know. It helps them. It opens up, like I said, it opens up so many dimensions. The eye we want to use, you know, it allows you to be real with yourself, you know, and that's what like I said, I didn't see myself. I was really blinded to every day looking in the mirror. As comfortable as I thought I wasn't. Once I took that hit, I went in the bathroom and I was like, who are you? Like, they heard me screaming from the living room. I'm arguing with this person in the mirror. Who are you? I'm to the point where I come out yelling at everybody else. You are wrong. All of y'all are wrong. Like, I told them, and they were like, whoa, what are you doing? And I'm like, y'all let me get this thing. Nobody said nothing. And everyone said, Gina, you always said you were so happy and comfortable with yourself. But y'all seen that I really wasn't. That was a facade.
Yeah.
And I covered it with religion. I masked it, you know, and so that's why I said spiritually, because going to church, when you go to church, they want you to, that's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. But we are all sinners. Like, what? We are all sinners, born sinners. If we were perfect people, why would we glorify God if we were perfect? Everybody in the church is a sinner. And when they do altar calls, everybody should be at the altar. Because once you leave that home, you in that home having impure thoughts. And how I know that is because I was at the door greeting and judging. Like, ooh, what chair you finna sit in? Ooh, girl, you couldn't put nothing else on, girl. Oh, that's how you come to serve the Lord. Ooh, Lord, look at your heathens. Like, you know?
Right.
You know, and then not realizing that God, you're not supposed to take all of that off. You take the time to communicate with something is deeper than all of that. Whatever all of this flesh is, what all of this is just it's flesh. It's just like clothes. It's nothing. Spirit is a connection.
So you had that reality check, you had that realization and all that, and then you tapped into like this level of power that you recognize that, I don't know, it unleashed in you or whatever. What did that look like for you when you tapped in? Like, I don't know, you had a plan, you executed, and it was all based off of, you know, it all came to fruition off of the will, your will, you know, and that will came from you leaning on something. So what did that look like when you were like, okay, this works, this shit works, like, this shit works.
It worked. Like,
what did that look like?
It looked like my mama believed it.
That's a bar.
That's a mega bar.
You know?
Yeah.
In this life that I want to, if my mama is convinced that I'm walking in what I said I'm walking in, and I'm doing what I said I'm here to do, called to do, and she believes it, and she can confess it to her other church members, not to judge her daughter because of, and then inform them that she got education for you, she can help you.
Okay.
I know I'm developed. I'm where I'm supposed to be completely. My mama believed it. Like, that's for more than anything. When she said, "I see you, baby. I see you clearly." When my mama want to be like, "Can I get some of that?"
So was there like a first time that she called you? There was a moment when you know, you can recognize like, dang, this was like, it solidified your path. Was there like an initial call, or did she look you, you know, pull you aside and say, hey, you know, that's when you knew you was on the right?
When she seen me introduce Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay.
That's another bar.
I've introduced Jay Stone. I've introduced Perico. I've introduced RJ. I've introduced on stages in Cannabis. These are my family that I was blessed to come back around and bring them in, you know, and share on another stage. But I was rejected a microphone over there. I was blessed with one over here. And
You better preach. You better preach.
Spiritually finding myself again, you said that point of waking up. I knew exactly where I was and what it was I was supposed to do. I was empowered in what I was doing. There was nothing that could shake me then. I was stern on what I was. I'm so stern in this spirit that don't nothing move me if it ain't God.
And kind of came back full circle as far as bringing you back to the music. You know what I'm saying?
Everything came back. Everything full circle. Blessings, everything. Because of my follow, my dedication, my relationship, my like meditation. Like I said, I meditate. I underwater meditate. All type of meditate. I meditate. I go to the water, everywhere meditate. If I can stop, I meditated in the middle of a protest.
That's dope.
Just stop and sat there and started lighting my Palo Santo, and I sat there and I made sure the ground was clean. I sat, make sure we were protected with all of those people because they were standing there with their pistols aimed. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to make sure these grounds are clean and protecting it in the sanctuary of God. You know, this is still him. This is all his children. Whether we see it fit for whatever we're out there speaking on, it's a fight between evil and good. It ain't a race war. It's an evil and good war.
Right.
Bar number 4, ladies and gentlemen.
I stay woke. It's Kickback University, and there's so many key elements to what you're saying, because you know when you think about Christianity or just across the board what different philosophies or different theologies talk about and speak of, when you are walking fully in your purpose with the universe, the Bible specifically says that you will be put amongst kings and queens. You will be put amongst royalty, right? And, you know, just to kind of see this journey, it also talks about having life and having it more abundantly, having a full life. And many a times, and this is something that I had to become aware of, because everything you're saying, I agree with, I've lived. I was the judgmental type because it was what was given to me. It wasn't coming directly from me. And I projected that onto others until I had my own revelations. But you end up getting away from the materialistic aspect of what quote unquote blessings are. They don't necessarily mean the nicest or a car that's better than everybody else, a house that's bigger than everybody else. It means I am at peace with myself, and I am aware of everything that is going on around me. So then therefore, when I am in the midst of chaos, I can be in this peaceful, holy place, because I understand that this presence of divinity is right here with me. It isn't somewhere that is unattainable in a faraway place. You know, it's literally inside of me, being projected out.
When you are stuck and stranded, are you at church calling on the Lord? God is the temple is this.
Is us.
This is the temple.
Yeah.
Your relationship with him is everything. You want everything. You want to go ask the man for everything, but you don't want to ask God for everything. You believe in the man before you believe in your God to give you, because you don't have faith in what you can't see. And so, yeah.
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 And it also, you know, and I know that we've addressed the, you know, clearly there is a race war that is being perpetuated, but at the end of it all, the last thing that you just recently said in regards to it being about principalities and powers, you know, we're battling against something that's beyond just a tangible substance. It isn't about that. It's about the influence that we talked about, you know, even with developing a cannabis company. You know, we're not battling against brick and mortar or against these people, but we're battling against their influences and the powers and this manipulation and the deception and all of these other things that go to shut us down, you know. And yeah, it gets deep, but it isn't a concept that is far-fetched for anybody to grasp onto.
Well, like I said, how it gets deep. It gets deep. But that's the part when we get stuck at deep, we get stuck at it gets deep.
And then get afraid to go even deeper.
Go deeper. Go,
right.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Especially when that's what we need to do at that moment. When that fear sets in, is you need to go deeper.
Go deeper. Break it.
Yep.
Oh, that's what she said. Oh my God.
Yeah. Real talk.
You know, it is so. I can tell you guys a story. I was an abused child from 3 to 7. I can tell my story because I'm healed. A lot of people can't tell the story without crying. I'm healed. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. I was abused. My father is still my father today. The same man that abused me is a saved man. From 3 to 17, that man abused me. Not sexually, physically. Abusive. But back in the 80s, we didn't know if that was abuse because a lot of things flew.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
We didn't know what to call abuse back in the 80s. You know, back in the 80s, we was capable of riding in the back of trucks with no seatbelts and shit.
No seatbelts. Yeah. Yep.
Being bad.
Yeah. So it was, and they could drink while we driving. You know?
Yep.
So back in the 80s, then it was then. With the conditions that were given then, well, that wasn't too far-fetched from slavery, because his mama went through some things, my great-grandma went through some things, and so
emotional trauma.
PTSD is real.
It sure is.
I saw the other day that Emmett Till would have been 79 years old on, I think, this past Saturday. You know, we've got grandparents. Hell, my dad is 82, so he was, you know,
older than.
He was around when Emmett Till was aged.
My grandfather marched. We got newspaper clippings of him being spit on, trying to get into school.
That part.
This is my grandfather.
Right.
You know, this is not far-fetched.
No, it's
from
not.
This is not long enough for us to say we're here. It's time to get over anything. No, it's time for you guys to accept, be accountable. When we understand accountability and understand that you were masked under evil, and accept that it was not what you knew, you general curse, whatever the generational curse followed you, accept and be accountable and drop it, let it go. And that's not just for Caucasians, that's for our people as well.
Which I think a lot of that starts with how you mentioned early in the interview, you greet your people as kings and queens, and helping them to understand like that accountability sets in when you have that self-worth and that self-value. When you understand who you are and what that means, then you are now accountable to hold yourself under that.
Period. People have always called me queen. And so I've always just used it back in, hey queen, hey king, hey queen, hey, because people have always called me queen. I go under Gina Jay, that's my name. That's my little whatever character name we call whatever. That's that. My real name is Regina. My real name means queen.
Yep.
The definition of my name is queen. So it isn't by chance, you know, well, what's the odds? is God.
There's a lot in the name.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the name.
A lot. My grandmother
Real
named
talk.
it. And I'm just honored to have space, and I'm honored to be in this place. I'm honored to kick back with you guys. It's an honor. When we start honoring life, honoring who's in, we don't, tomorrow is another day. Honor today. Everybody is worried about tomorrow, but today is today. Get through today.
One day at a time.
Real talk.
Seriously.
Real talk.
People
Yeah.
tell me all the time, Gina, so what is your big plan for, I'm like, y'all making plans, we can have goals.
Right.
We can all have goals, but ain't nobody planned the COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody plan around COVID and plan for COVID. We can have goals, but
Yeah.
God is always gonna set the plan.
Real talk. Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a plan until they get hit. And that plan will fly out the window real quick.
That's called the life roller coaster, timeline and the roller coaster. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. But what you gonna do in your downtime?
You better listen, ladies and gentlemen. This show has always been has prided itself upon dropping knowledge and jewels and gems. I hope y'all catching this, because that is an ultra mega bar right there.
Well, yeah,
Mega
get you a Kickback University T-shirt at kickbackshow.com.
That part.
Right now, get them like you late, because like I said, don't worry about tomorrow. Today, we got to stay on today. Today, get them ordered. All right.
There you go. Thank you.
I don't want to hear about tomorrow. We want to hear about today.
Miss
them
Gina,
ordered.
That
let's
part.
switch gears real quick, because I know you also have a podcast.
Yes, I have.
Can you talk about that? Let's plug that, because that's another university that people can attend.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a podcast called Yo, What's the Info with Gina Jay. Bad luck. Salute my brother, Badru. Salute my other brother. They pressed the issue of, you've been doing too much and you need to put it down somewhere. You have a lot to say and you need to put it down somewhere.
Smart.
Whether you think somebody listening today, it's going to collect it. It's going to be worth listening to. So I started, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I set it down. When everything started happening, I didn't want to transition bad energy into my podcast. I didn't want to, spirit is everything, energy is everything. So if I'm feeling defeated somewhere, I can't put that energy into the show. It will transition across that. It's a wave, it's a wave link. I won't be accountable for putting that wave out there, because I'm right now in confusion. I want to make sure I'm not leading my people to confusion. And so when we could have questions, we could talk all day, but it's conversation. That's why I said in plan. People go, hey, where you going next? Where you going next? Where you going tomorrow? Like for sure, tomorrow. You don't. We don't. But what we do know is God is promising. And so we do know that whatever it is I bank in on him, or my good bank with him, I'm good for tomorrow. Right. He knows what your heart desire. Stay good. Stay good. Everything comes. Everything that I got is because I stay good. And I transition the light. I take it to the streets. I take care of his. When blessed, I give it back. I got a bag here. I do not take none of my hotel stays. This is a bag full of hotel stays to take to the homeless downtown. Because I have my own stuff. My skin's sensitive. I'm not going to use half that stuff that they put it in. I'm not. But it's still good product. So I make bags. I travel so much, so I make bags and I just take and give it back. So many formats of if I can feed, if I can fall in line, it's balance your good, guys. Balance your good and everything will be granted from God. Balance your good. We all sinners. We all going to do bad. We all. But balance good. Keep putting in that good bank. Keep dropping in a good bank. It all gonna come back equal. You're gonna be okay.
Where can we listen to your podcast? Where can we find it?
Yo, it's on Anchor is where I started it, but now it's on Apple Play or Google Play.
Apple Music, Google Play.
See, this is when you get old. This is when you get real old. It's too many. Everything.
I
Reddit,
don't-
all of, when you start seeing all the things that what is this? I didn't even know these things exist, but it didn't move all the way. Okay, this over there too. I don't even know what that is. I downloaded it.
I don't think it's a. I don't think it's an old thing. I don't think it's an old thing. It's just there's so much information that is being projected out to us sometimes that, you know, clearly your subconscious mind starts trying to, you know, give you what your conscious mind knows. So yeah, no. What was you saying, Swill?
I was gonna say, because there's so many different platforms. I know, I'm sure your Anchor is like ours, where if you go to their page or your page on Anchor, there's links to other podcast formats that if people like are affiliated with those, they can just click on that and then.
Kind of like how they do the Pandora. Yeah. You're gonna like this next song because you was vibing that last one. Yeah. How you know I was vibing? You was in my car.
Right.
You start looking at what, and then when you start talking about certain things in the advertisements, all of selling you. How are you in my car right now selling me this stuff? And I said I just needed this.
Right, that part.
Get out my car, Siri.
That part. I ain't got that problem.
Pull the car over. We're gonna have to all pull the car over one day and say, "Get out my car, Siri. Get out." You are not welcome.
Yeah, Foz just has Android problems. That's all.
Thank you. I've been trying to tell this man. Don't come at me. Don't bully me with your Barry White voice. Don't do me like that. Because you strong in voice, you feel some type of way. You go, no. With this little Tweety Bird voice, Apple still stands.
Let him know. Let him know what's really good. Let him know what's really good. Let him know what's really good.
He gonna get it. He'll fall in one day. They'll figure it out when his fall out. When it all the way falls out, you have to fall in. He'll figure it out.
One of these days.
Yeah, one day. Because they're gonna take it all over. Trust me. They're gonna take it all over.
Don't trip. I'm in the system. I just don't agree with the phones.
Yeah, you in the other system because you couldn't get none of our text messages.
Listen.
Okay.
Whatever.
Let me tell you something.
We don't want to be a part of that system. We don't want
that. His whole phone lied to him. His whole phone was like, yeah, we told him. Everybody else is like, nah, we didn't get that one. His whole
I sent my receipts.
Like, no, we're right.
Did I not send my receipts though? I sent them receipts.
Your phone is crazy that your phone is crazy. Your phone is so loyal and dedicated. That's something that you should appreciate. But it's so loyal and dedicated to you that it's willing to throw itself.
You sent a so-called receipt. You just didn't send the text message. That's all.
Period.
Y'all know. Since we were talking about religion and spirituality, according to the Bible, you know, they said that Adam and Eve ate of the fruit, and then that was when they realized that they had done something wrong, and God came in and kicked them out the garden where the fruit, the apple, was that she bit. Yeah, get y'all's lives together because God is not looking down with a light.
I'm not even about to let you. Come on, we done. First of all, it took too goddamn long. First of all,
then I go back to
goddamn long.
You're just listening slow.
No. I'm spiritual. It's like
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know who these people are. What did you say?
What is that?
Did you sound it out for me? It was what? What they look like? Just let me know, because I've never seen them. Got a picture? I'm going to look out.
You speaking English?
I'll let you know.
Yeah. All right.
I can get you with the, hey, you want me to, or you want me to go, hey, yo, baby? You're like, which? When I see him, I'll let you know.
Thank you. But I do have you guys a lot going on. It's everywhere. I'm everywhere. As much as I could be, they say, you know, to make $1 million, you got to have 10 jobs or something like that. So I'm kind of trying to have that pocket. I'm trying to have 10 hustles. I'm trying to get to $1 million. That's what I want.
You're going to get to pass that because it's 7 jobs and you wake up at 4. So you shooting for 10. So let's go. You got more. Let's do it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. She says a number. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's the divinity number. It's God. I see 304. People laugh when I say I see 304 because everybody go back to the 90s with the texting of the pagers. Right. I'd be like, 304 is my number. Like, really, Gina? 304? Yeah, 304.
Yeah.
It's
they not think it's supreme mathematics.
Yeah, the teacher.
Listen, this guy Foz, he stayed with the man. I be seeing these numbers, man. I be seeing these numbers. I always is seeing them, you know. And it's this, it's the angel, and it's this, it's that, and then so, yeah,
Yeah,
you know
y'all
exactly what you're talking about.
That's
You
real.
seeing it repetitive? Yeah, it's
That's
real. If you
real.
seeing it repetitive, God trying to show you something, tell you something.
I
Tap
see-
in.
I see 1111 on a regular basis, and the moment that I see 1111, I have to stop, ground myself, give thanks, and then keep it moving.
Ain't that crazy? I do the same thing when I see 304. Thank you, God, and everybody else be like, she is praising the hoe. No, I'm not, because you know 304
Oh,
affects
what?
Yeah, 3 or 4 on the pages.
on a pager back in the day. The
Oh,
whole word was 304 upside down. And so,
Yeah.
so say that now, they be like, Gina, really? Really? And I'm like, you guys have no idea. Numerology wise, you break it down. No number stands
Right.
over one dominion. It's one number. It's not
It's
10.
only one number.
It's only one number.
Right.
There's no
It's only
10.
one.
So with you seeing 11, you need to break all that down. It's not 11. It's only one number. You seeing 4.
4.
Mhm.
Seeing 4. It's wholeness.
Well,
Yeah.
numerologically, 11 is the angel's number.
It is an
So-
angel's number.
11 doesn't, 11 can stand as the angel's number. It doesn't always break down to 2.
Well, it's a 4. It's a 4.
look,
Yeah.
when
Well,
you look it
there's
up-
always a
when you look
master
it up-
number.
Yeah.
There's always a
You
master.
have to
There's a
add it
master.
and
There's
break it
always
all
a
the way
master
down.
number, so that's where you add it up,
And
and that's
break it
where
all
you
the
get the
way down.
singularity. But
Yeah.
you are right. Like you
Yeah,
can get 1111, and you get, but when it starts to double
God.
itself, it's more powerful. But then again, you always come back to a master number, which includes 0, which is the wholeness. You know, the wholeness of 0, which is a circle and all that good stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, it's
Well,
something that's beautiful.
guys,
It's
I wish-
powerful.
I wish it was something that was given to me at a younger age, but I'm thankful for this journey of being able to understand what I was given then, to
You
then
get it when
grow
you-
into
you
my
get it.
understanding now.
You get it when you're ready to understand it.
Yep.
I'm ready
and
for it.
When you're ready. He makes sure you get
Yeah.
it when you. A lot of people don't tap into after 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started dabbling in numerology when I was in junior high school.
Oh, Mama, you've been out there with the numbers.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's deep.
That's
You
very.
guys, I'm
But
in
she-
1111.
You're in 1111. That's
That's,
what
that's-
your was
what
that
number?
the time you were born?
Like the adding it up thing, we did it, and Tiana, me and you did it together.
Was it your birthday or your name?
It was both of them. That's how you get both sides.
She in
So-
11.
Those
that's a crazy
numbers, we'll talk. Those numbers stand separately. Your birthday is like, for instance, your destiny number. Your name is like, there are different numbers.
Either way, listen, I'm gonna let you. We could talk later and all that. I know that it's 1111 because I remember researching it. I just don't remember what the breakdown means, all that. But I remember that, and I
Right.
just,
That's all you need to remember.
got with it.
I'll tell you this, and this goes to everyone listening as well. Like, I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because I remember the first time that I really tapped into numerology. I was always into astrology. Like, I remember having like a collection of stones and all that without even understanding the significance of them, right? Or what they meant. I just loved stones as a kid. Once I got into numerology, I remember doing my name. And when I tell you that I'm never scared of anything, when I tell you that shit freaked me out, because I legit thought somebody that knew me had wrote all of this full ass page breaking down my entire life,
Yeah.
even about stuff that I was lying to myself about. It was like, you are X, Y, and Z, you like A, B, C, and you are E, F, G, H, I, J, K, you could be elemental P. And I was like, wait, hold up. Who in the hell wrote this? Like, what? And it all started to make sense that we are all connected. And Gina said this earlier, that it's all oneness. God is literally oneness. It's
Oneness.
all unity within one thing, and it all kind of goes together. It isn't just black and white. Like, it's all oneness. And so it's an amazing thing when you start to understand how many different elements that the divinity has given us to be able to guide us through this life and to confirm every little thing that we do, whether it is seeing a number, whether it is a definition within our name, whatever that may be. It's amazing when we come to the realization and understand what our purpose and our calling is, why we were chosen to be here, why we're still here, and then how to proceed and progress through life, so.
Oh yeah. So deep. It's so deep. I calculated naming our children. Like I broke down their names based on the numbers before we named them.
Oh. Wow.
That's some God talk right there. That's that God talk. I knew you before I made you.
That's bar.
That's a super bar. Yeah.
Okay.
That's bomb. Yeah, that's bomb.
Like I love when I hear parents that are really like, no, I want my child to walk in its purpose, name and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I needed to
Real
make
tough.
sure that we vibed. Also, I needed to make sure, because my name is weird, and somehow every single one of my names adds up to the number 9. I have 4 names, all add up to the number 9. And then when you add them all together, the same, they all add up to the number 9. My birthday, same, adds up to the number 9. My birth year, number 9, like everything. So that's it. Like, so I had to make sure that their numbers were numbers that were compatible with mine, so that I could also guide them. Because if you've got that headbutting and you can't communicate with your children.
What's Swivel's number?
Is it 6?
He's a 6.
He's a 6.
I was about to say, if it's 6 and 9, it's a whole lot of greatness going on.
We're all elements of 3, which 3 is God's number.
Period.
That's the Holy Trinity. That's amazing.
No.
Apparently, Money disagrees.
Yeah. She said no. That still runs the show. No, I still run the show. Don't forget it. I appreciate this time. I do want to let you guys know, thank you for allowing me to plug my podcast. I am currently just going through what I want to be able to feed coming back. And also I've only done audio, so I believe coming back, I wanted to do visual with it. So, I took a little break, needed to breathe through what was going on. The energy is, it was heavy. We all know that it's still heavy. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to mislead anybody, period. I just want to make sure when I'm feeding them light, love and light, and coming back, I'll be for all of that. I'll be ready for it all, but I'm still involved with again, Million Bananas is a natural leaf wrap that I am invested into. I'm their first lady of the company. They're out of San Francisco. It's a banana leaf out of Cambodia. So it's a natural, it's pretty dope. It's a natural way to smoke. Comes with this little glue. I don't know if I have a glue here. I do. Here it is, little banana glue. So you're capable. We don't, we say organic, so we can't tell you to lick it, to close it. That's DNA. You now invested some saliva here. This is not organic. So we encourage to seal, no lick. So that's what the glue does. I'm also involved in CFBC, a clothing company out of Jersey. I'm first lady of that company as well. My brothers are Muslim.
From a different cloth.
From a different cloth. My brothers are 3 Muslim brothers. They're amazing. They're amazing. It's just dope to have strong brothers. No matter where they're at, they're strong, and it's dope to be a part of that unit out there. But it's growing little by little. It's dope to be invested in different places. I'm going to Atlanta this Wednesday to get in there and talk some more cannabis business. Georgia is seeking they out. They seeking their reparations too, and it's deserved. So, why not kick it off with cannabis?
Mm-hmm.
As they should.
That's dope.
As they should.
Can you tell folks where to find you so they can follow your moves and pay attention to what you're doing and all of that good stuff?
Absolutely. You guys can follow me at GinaJ.info on IG, GinaJ22 Twitter, It's crazy. I had to switch up my names. I didn't want to disconnect like that. But when I stepped into cannabis, I lost my first account. Preaching about cannabis, they stripped me of my first account. So I lost my account, getting out there trying to preach the truth. And you just reset. You reset. But you know what? What I lost, I came back 10 times stronger. So it wasn't a loss. And God kept saying, "It's a loss. I gave you better."
Yep, there it is.
What did you lose?
Yeah.
What did you lose? I didn't know you lost. I thought you gained. You're right. I'm gonna check my.
That part.
I gained. I gained, and I gained a lot. I was capable of having my own show in cannabis for a year, so I pretty much interviewed 4 people a day on this show in cannabis. People that were on the field with us, you know, doing all elements of everything cannabinoid moving. If it was an edible, if it was a topical, if it was an oil, if it was a hash, a wax, a bong, or whatever it was, a clothing item, or whatever they had, I interviewed. And even artists in cannabis. That's one thing they really appreciate is music, the vibe, the vibe.
Yeah.
No.
It's such an amazing thing.
So yeah,
Such an amazing thing.
I gained a lot, and I got to see my family out there, and I got to introduce I brought Quick out. I've been blessed. I wouldn't have been blessed if I would have stayed up.
Mm-hmm.
I took the leap of faith. I took that leap. I'm out. Let me see what's gonna happen. Oh, we happened. God, you good. God, you is real. We happened. It's not me and everybody. You doing so? No, me doing. God is doing. I don't want that credit. Like, I don't want credit. And stop taking all the credit. It's God. It's God. It's God. It's God. God is doing everything for you. And that's if you believe.
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe.
Well, thank you once again for spreading all the knowledge and the dropping the gems and the bars. And we're gonna have to be back on again pretty soon here.
Absolutely, and I would love to, like, even when we have back in the studio, or we can come together and sit around in a circle, you know, bring some of these products out to you guys. Bless you guys. I appreciate you guys so much, truly. Don't forget to put your orders in if you guys are watching this right now, because you're already late. Because, you know, just put the orders in, okay? Today you're not late. You on time. Show up. Where do we get them shirts from?
Kickbackshow.com.
Boom.
That's
there
where you're
it
gonna
is, y'all.
to go put my pre-order in right now. That's what I'm going to go do.
Please get that merch. A lot of merch, from t-shirts, hoodies, to pullovers, socks, mugs, bags, everything. Please go check it out. As usual, thekickbackshow.com. There it is. I love you too. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you. Always family, always love.
Don't miss a beat. Kick that beat. Follow us on social media at The Kickback Show. Kickback on everything.